Winter in northern Minnesota is unforgiving. It's bitter cold with bone-chilling wind, and nothing comes easy. But tucked away on a lonely stretch of trail is a secret oasis. Just a roof overhead, shelter from the cold, and space to gather with good company. So join us for a day and night in the heart of the North Woods as we brave the cold in a secret backpacker's cabin. This is Tiny Cabin Life. We're in northern Minnesota on our way to a true hidden gem. It's a secret backcountry cabin located on a very unassuming stretch of the North Country Trail, which is actually the longest hiking trail in the country, stretching from Vermont all the way to North Dakota. We've hiked many sections of this trail in the past, and it's always an incredible experience.
Well, it feels good to be out hiking, although I'm pulling quite a bit of weight. I brought in a bunch of gear just to make the experience more comfortable, but now I'm starting to wonder if it's really worth it. Oh, because this is really, really heavy to pull. Now, we've only been to this cabin once before, but man, is it a cool spot. It's a fully enclosed backcountry shelter, and it's really a hidden gem out here. Not many people know about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it in the winter time. So this right here is a little beaver pond. There are quite a few of these back here. In fact, our cabin sits on one of them. In the summertime, it's a great source of drinking water that you can filter. However, this time of year, we're dealing with snow. I did bring in a little bit of water, but if we have to, especially for the dogs, might have to melt some of that at the cabin. Okay guys, take a look at this. So these tracks come out of the woods here. And take a look. That's a big track. Look at my fist. I believe that's a wolf. You could almost mistake them for like human tracks because of how much snow has gotten kicked up. But the depressions are obviously way too small to be a human foot, and then when you see that print, it's clearly a canine, and so that's got to be a wolf. Definitely too big to be a coyote. Oh, so look, this is where he got off of the trail, made his way up this hill and over that ridge line. Oh man, we'll have to keep our ears peeled tonight in the cabin and see if we can't hear some howling going on. That'd be pretty cool. Also a little eerie as well.
Finally, after a long and strenuous trek through the snow, we came up over our final hill and arrived at the cabin. almost as soon as we set up inside the cabin, I noticed a major shift in the weather. The wind picked up dramatically, and we began our descent towards the bitter cold.
Man, the wind has really picked up. It was basically completely still on our hike in. But now, all of a sudden, we're getting some crazy high wind gusts. Makes me very glad that we've got the plastic up on the screen doors here. Otherwise, it would be very, very windy and cold in here. Oh no! Well, as you can see, I dumped my entire pot of tomato soup. That's a shame for many reasons. First of all, I was looking forward to that. Thankfully, I have more food for lunch, which will tide me over. But second of all, you don't want to spill food in these cabins, so I'm gonna really have to make sure I clean that up.
I'm using snow here to help clean up the mess, and it helps in two major ways. First, it absorbs the spilled liquid almost like a sponge. Then secondly, the snow adds a little bit of water, which allows me to get rid of any stickiness or smell off of the surfaces.
Well, it's not hot soup, but it is food, and it tastes pretty good, so guess I'm happy.
I hauled in a good amount of water for us to drink today, but I figured if I could melt some snow for the dogs and take a little pressure off of our main supply, I might as well do it.
Well, I want to try to gather a little bit of wood here and see if we can't have just a small little campfire before dark. Here in the winter, the sun just sets so incredibly early and then it rises late too. So there's just so much time spent indoors. And so, if we can have a little fire before we're cooped up in the cabin, might as well. Right now I'm just looking for wood to burn for aesthetic purposes, and it needs to be something that I can break apart without a saw. I don't have one. This piece right here looks perfect, so I'll snap that off, we'll put it in the trail here, and then we'll continue on and see if we can't find more. Oh, this right here is an absolute treasure trove. Wow, the last person to make a fire here covered it up with this bark. So all of this kindling down here is completely dry. I'm definitely gonna toss that thing back on the fire ring here when we're done. That's incredible. Well, it is really starting to get cold again, especially with that wind blowing. You know, we had some really nice temperatures all day, but now with that sun going down, the temperature is plummeting. And we're supposed to drop down to single digits overnight, so it's gonna keep going down fast. But it's warm here by the fire, and thankfully I hauled in a ton of propane for our heater. So we'll be able to run that thing until bedtime and first thing in the morning again as well. Well, the wind just continues to roar out there, but again, thankfully we're sheltered from it, and this heater is really hitting the spot. I gotta say though, I always expect this thing to heat up the space more than it does. I think it's definitely doing something, but really more than anything, it's just like a radiant source of heat to be next to, you know? But, you know, that's okay. It's definitely doing the trick, and I'm very grateful for it.
God, thank you for a beautiful day out here in your creation. Bless this food and help us to be safe tonight. Amen. Well, I just heated up a little chicken fried rice. It looks good, and I know it's good because I've had it before. So let's dive in. That is incredibly delicious, and it feels really good to finally get my hot meal for the day.
Well, I am officially in my sleeping bag, and as you can see, it's cold. We're definitely in the 20s at this point, and the temperature is dropping. Thankfully, I got the dogs all snug in their blankets, and this sleeping bag is warm as can be, so we're going to be okay, but definitely miss having that heater on, I'll tell you what. Anyway, with that, I think I'm going to try to get some sleep. Good night.
Hi. Good morning. Oh, come on. Do you want to go outside? You want to go outside? All right. Well, good morning. As you can see, it is very, very cold. 8 degrees. And man, it feels like it. It is freezing in here. All in all, I slept pretty well. I definitely was warm enough. It's just, I don't know. Sleeping bags are tough for me. I just end up feeling so confined. My arm starts to hurt or something, you know, and I don't know. It's never the best sleep, but being warm is all I could really ask for, and I was warm, so that was good. Well, the coffee here is really hitting the spot. It tastes amazing, and it's warming my insides as well. But I think the plan for now is just going to be to sit here by the heater and wait for that sun to come up. And once it does, I think we're going to pack out of here and start making the journey back to the truck. Well, this was certainly another adventure for the books. It's always incredibly rewarding to get out in the wintertime, especially when you have to use your own two legs to reach your destination. I love this little cabin, and I'm incredibly grateful to have stumbled upon it last spring. It's certainly a hidden gem here, and I definitely plan to come back in the future.
I want to give a special shout out to our patrons who generously donate to this channel. Thank you all so much. But again, to everybody who watches, subscribes, comments, all that good stuff, you are all the reason that we get to do this on a weekly basis, and I'm incredibly grateful. As always, we'll have a new adventure for you next week, but for now, it's time for me to move on. God bless.